Guys, I am back. It's been a hot minute since I have been online, but here I am. So yeah, I just wanted to get caught up with you guys. I'm working on a few new designs. I've been tweaking some designs, a few different things. I've come up with a new mask design. This was kind of my prototype and it broke, but I am working on putting in rivets. I don't know if you can see it very well. Putting in rivets, and then you can just put the elastic in there. And because I was having a lot of trouble with this skinny round elastic, it was not staying stitched in. It would just shred out and it wouldn't hold. So I haven't tried it yet, but I think the next one I make, I'm going to try to, without rivets, I'm going to tie a knot in the end of the elastic before I sew it in. That way, if it pulls, that knot will catch and it won't pull out. But if that doesn't work, then I'm probably going to switch to using rivets. And if you're using a wider elastic, you probably won't need to do rivets. But this just worked. I put a little, as you can see, a little bead on it just to keep it from pulling through. But I haven't perfected it yet. This one broke while I was at Hobby Lobby. So I've got to do some repair on it and it needs washed. But I've been working on that. Trying to think what else is new. I'm currently kind of semi redecorating my kitchen. I'm getting ready for spring and summer, so I'm doing a lot of lemons. So tonight I'm going to be working on some lemon things. I've been learning how to make pot holders, which are super easy. I mean, I cannot express to you enough how easy it is. If you can stitch anything, you can stitch a pot holder. Yeah, I don't remember how long it's been since I got on last time, but I have a Brother scan and cut now, which is basically the Brother equivalent of a Cricut. It's a little bit different than a Cricut because, as the name suggests, it is a scan and cut. It has the scanner actually built into the machine. Let me tilt my camera down a little. So anyway, you can say if you have a lot of scraps of vinyl or paper or whatever you use, you can just stick them wherever on your mat, and then you put the mat in the machine and you hit scan, and it scans it in and shows you in color on the screen where those bits are, and then you just drag your designs over the vinyl that's on the mat and it cuts it, so you don't have to waste as many scraps, and you can be sure you get everything aligned how you want it, and etc., etc. But I haven't got to do a whole lot with it yet. I've made a card and I've made a couple little vinyl things. Hi, person. Your name doesn't tell me a lot, but I lost my train of thought. Oh, I said I haven't got to make much with the Cricut, or not the Cricut, but the scan and cut yet. I used to have a Cricut, and I was fairly decent at using it. I didn't get super into it just because I had a new baby and I just didn't have time for it, so I got rid of it. But this one uses a different, not really software, but it's a website, kind of web-based thing called Canvas Workspace. That's the Brother equivalent of Cricut Design Space. And I don't like Canvas Workspace as good as Design Space. A lot of spaces. But I know the Cricut one, they just switched to where you have to pay, I think, or it's going to switch at some point to where you have to pay to like keep using it, or pay to upload an unlimited number of designs or something like that. There's some kind of catch. I feel like Cricut definitely had a better selection as far as their like available designs that you can get like pre-done through their workspace or whatever it's called, Design Space. But I mean, Brother has some pretty good ones, but they just don't have near the selection of what Cricut has. And of course, I mean, Brother has where you can buy separate like packages, and I guess they kind of have that on Cricut. I know the way back, the old Cricuts had the little cartridges that you put in it that had like the design packs on them. It's kind of like that with the Scan and Cut, except there's no cartridge. You just buy it and then it just sends it to your machine. Or you can save it to your computer or whatever. But so it's a little different. I'm learning how to use it, but I especially want to use it to cut out fabric applique pieces for my sewing and whatnot. Um, just because a lot of the designs I do, not necessarily applique, but in the hoop projects, especially ones from like Embroidery Library or Urban Threads, they I don't even know how to explain it. The way they stitch, it doesn't let you kind of applique it onto the stabilizer. You have to already have it pre-cut to the correct size, and then it stitches the edges for you onto the stabilizer. I hope that makes sense. But since I do a lot of those designs, I'm hoping I can just take the die line files and run them through the Scan and Cut and just put my fabric in there and have it cut out for me rather than having to print it all out, use temporary adhesive on the fabric, cut it out by hand, all that stuff. It takes forever. Definitely worth it because I've made some really cool stuff, but it takes forever to print out and cut out all of those designs. So I'm hoping that that will be a help. And that is actually one of the projects I'm wanting to work on soon. I don't know that I'll get to it tonight just because I haven't printed out all the pieces or anything. But it's from Embroidery Library. Let me see if I can find a picture of it and I'll share my screen with you guys. It's technically a Christmas design. It's a red truck, kind of like that vintage red truck that's really popular. But I'm thinking I want to, sorry, I'm trying to read and figure out where the heck I put this truck. Well, it's somewhere. Maybe I put it into this. Anyway, I'm wanting to take the colors and, oh, here it is. Change out the colors so that it is blue. And I'm going to fill up the back with little mini lemons. Okay, so it does not have an, it doesn't have a JPEG with the folder, but my other one is packed away with Christmas stuff, or I would show you that. But it's an in the hoop, kind of a cross between freestanding lace and fabric, but it stands up on its own. It's a little truck. So yeah, I think I'm going to try to make that in blue. And I found some really cute lemon printables on Pinterest. And I made a little like faux window frame thing. I got 4 of the 8x10 canvases from Dollar Tree, so $4. And then I just cut the canvas off of it and ripped them all off. So I'm just left with the wooden frame, and then I used wood glue and hot glue to glue them all together so it's like a 4-panel window. And then I put little, what do you call them? Not paper clips, clothespins on each frame. So 4 clothespins, so it can hold pictures or, you know, signs, anything like that. So I found some really cute little lemon themed summery signs that I'm going to clip on there. And of course I can rotate it out for the seasons. But I'm trying to get, like I say, out of the cold and into the warm weather. Let me see if I can pull up these other designs that I am wanting to work on. And I'll show you guys. I think some of these have JPEGs with them. Okay, here's one. Let me share my screen if I can figure out how to do it. Let's see. Okay. You should be able to see this. Let me see if I can just show this. Okay, so you should be able to see it. So this is a little coaster that I'm wanting to make, which it's kind of, whoops, actually, I don't know if it will show that. No, it's not going to. Sorry, let me see if I can figure out how to get it to where you can see the whole thing. Okay, that's probably like picture in picture. um, Sorry, that's probably really trippy, but yeah, this is a little lemon coaster and it's pretty small. So I'm not sure if I want to use them just as coasters because since they're fabric, I feel like they're not going to sit very straight, especially once they get wet, like from condensation. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to make a few of them and either sew them together or make just some kind of little decor thing, or I might see if I can upsize it and make a like trivet. I'm not super crazy about the stippling stitch on there. It's okay, but I feel like it kind of detracts from it. I'm thinking I'm going to use a darker yellow fabric though, so I think that may help a little bit. Let me make this bigger so you can see it better. Okay, let me go back. Let's see. I have got some other really cute lemon designs here. This is a really cute one. It's just little applique lemons. This is a lemon slice I actually cut out of another design. Well, now it's trying to launch in Brilliance, which is not what I wanted. Okay. So yeah, there's a few. I've got, where is it? This little lemonade one. I'm not gonna open it because it's gonna try to open whatever it's called in Brilliance. But anyway, I'm gonna make some towels. I need to actually, well, I was gonna say I could do it while I'm on here and show you guys, but I think it's gonna make it run too slow. But Creative Kiwi, spelled with K's, K for creative and K for kiwi, Kiwi. That's where I got the design for the lemon coaster, and I believe it was free. She has a treasure trove of free embroidery designs. So if you are just wanting to dip your toe into in the hoop stuff, she has a ton of free in the hoop designs and a few other regular embroidery designs as well. But lots of coasters, trivet. She has a lot of good quilting designs, applique designs, lots of really good stuff. And I've never had a problem with any of her stitch outs. They always stitch perfect. So anyway, I'm trying to think of what I want to start on first. I think I'm just going to try to make one of these little lemon coasters first, and we'll just see kind of how it goes. Because like I say, I'm not entirely sure how big it is. I haven't opened the file actually. Sorry, I'm looking at my screen so I can put this on my jump drive. Let's see. Okay, lemon coaster. So she does have multiple sizes in the folder. It goes all the way up to a 9x14, an 8x12, an 8x8, 6x10, 5x7, and 4x4. I have a 6x10 hoop, so that's the largest I can do. So I'm gonna do that one, and hopefully it's big enough for a it's big enough for a pot holder or a trivet. Okay, I'm trying to look and see what I've already got on my jump drive. Okay. I know there's a few other things I wanted to do as well. Sorry, y'all, I'm like never prepared. I just kind of ramble on. Ooh, I need to make these earrings too. Don't know. Boy, it gave me 2 of them. I got some really cute in the hoop, like freestanding lace earrings from Embroidery Library, I believe. 16th. I'm pretty sure that's where they came from. It may have been Urban Threads, but I think it was Embroidery Library. But yeah, I don't know why it gives me an A and a B when you could just use the same file twice and turn it around. I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna put these on here. I might work on these as well. Like I say, I don't know. It's kind of, I have a love-hate relationship with Embroidery Library. I know I've said that before, but a lot of their stuff, their in the hoop stuff, is not designed the best as far as pieces that you have to cut out and whatnot. It's just not as easy as a lot of other places and a lot of other websites, but it's okay. I really want to make this other bird cage too. I don't remember which one it was. Because a lot of these designs I bought back when I had a smaller machine, so a lot of my freestanding lace designs are sized down for that machine, which is also why I have a love-hate relationship with Embroidery Libraries, because they only let you buy one size at a time. Pretty much every other site I shop on gives you all the sizes when you buy a design, which is excellent. I don't know why Embroidery Library doesn't do that, because everybody else does. And their designs tend to be a little bit more expensive anyway, unless you catch it on sale. But what do I know? Okay. Okay, I guess we're just gonna do this and see where it gets us. Okay. So let me get this thing fired up. And I'll turn you guys around here so you can see what I'm working on. Maybe. Sorry, my camera's in reverse. I always forget. It's so hard for me to like grasp the concept of the fact that I need to reverse. Okay, well, here's where I'm at right now. Okay, so let me pull this up. Wait, there it is. Okay. Okay, so the 6x10 lemon coaster is actually pretty big. It's a little over 8.5 by 6, just over that. 8.68 by 6.18. So it's big. I know it probably calls for me to use water soluble, which I'm not crazy about, but I will do it. Okay, let me grab my stabilizer. I'm pretty sure I already have a piece cut. Yes. So I'm just using this water soluble stabilizer. This is like the fibrous kind. You do not want the clear water soluble because it will just rip on you and it will not hold. You can use tearaway, but you're probably going to have a lot of little, like, I don't know what to call them, like crusties kind of, when you get to the end of your design, because the way that satin stitch goes around the edging, your, sorry, I'm trying to get this hoop done. Your tearaway stabilizer will not come off completely cleanly. So you have to use water soluble. Sorry, I cannot talk and do this at the same time. I'm not a good multitasker. Okay. I'm gonna check my machine. I know I've showed this before, but I'll show you guys again how I clean out my machine. Be sure it's clipped on here so you're not falling. Okay, so I take this little piece off, and this is for a brother machine, so it's got sticky buildup on it. But I'm pretty sure most machines are the same as far as bobbins and whatnot go. So anyway, pull that off, and I just take my bobbin out, and then this little piece, you just slide it, and it comes right off, no screws. And then you can take the bobbin case out. And then all this dust in here, you're going to want to clean out. And the best tool that I have found for this is a little mascara makeup brush. And this one has a bendable end on it. This was by the brand Elf. I think it cost me all of about $2 or $3, maybe. But obviously you don't want one that has been used in makeup, because then you're just going to get makeup all in your machine. So be sure you get one that's brand new, one that's never been used. And then you just kind of go around and get all that dust out, and you can see it pulls it right out. It does an excellent job. Obviously, if you're going around and you hit, something with resistance, you don't want to push on it too much. You just kind of want to get what's on the surface, get down in there. And I don't know if I can do this without blocking it, but one place a lot of people miss is this little slot right there. There's the I guess bobbin case, I don't know what you call it. And between it right there, a lot of times there gets a lot of thread built up in there and dust, as you can see. So be sure you clean that out. Ooh, sorry. I've had a itchy throat today. Okay, so now I'm going to put my bobbin case back in. Again, if you're not familiar, the little white triangle matches with the little white dot right there. That's how you know you have it straight. And then I'm going to put this on here. If I was making this for an order, I would probably use yellow bobbin thread just so it looks the same on both sides. But since it's just for me and I don't really care, I'm not. Just going to use what I have because it's easier than having to wind a whole bobbin for one project. And my needle was just changed recently, so that doesn't need to be done. Okay, so now that's in. I know I don't need black thread, so let me take that out. That was from the last project. Do an order from Etsy. I had to do, what did I have to make? A sleep mask, a baby toy, and 2 or 3 towels, I think. And 2 of the towels I already had made, but I had to make one of them. Okay, let me get my white thread on here. And so, as always, the first stitch is just going to be a die line. So you don't have to worry about having any fabric down or anything. You're just going to stitch that die line directly onto the stabilizer. And that's all you gotta do. I'm gonna grab my fabric on the stitches. Okay. Okay, I have a couple different shades of fabric. I'm a little unsure of what I want to use. Okay, so this next stitch is going to be your batting tack down. Don't think I already have a piece of batting cut. So I just had to buy a new tack. And let me show you guys what I use, especially if you're going to use it for a trivet or pot holder or whatever. This is what you want. Pell on, wrap and zap. 100% natural cotton batting, but you can see here it says microwave safe, which means it can withstand heat. See, I was trying to see if it. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't say what temperature it can withstand, but it just says that it can stand being in a microwave in 2-minute intervals for up to 8 minutes. So yeah, but that is what I use. This is the batting I use for pretty much all of my projects, just because you can get a whole pack at Walmart for $5, and you really can't beat that. So yeah, I'm trying to decide if I just want to use one layer too. It is a little bit thinner than some typical batting, but it's not terrible. I'm trying to decide if I want one. Oh, I think I might use 2. I guess I can always add one on the back if I feel like I need it. Okay, let me cut this. So I'm just going to start with 1 layer and kind of see where that gets me. If I want to add another layer of batting on the back later on, I will, but I'm just going to start with this first. Okay, so let me get you back down here. Oh, I lost my phone. Okay, so now the batting is just laying on here, so I'm just going to tack it down. Okay, so now you're going to put down your fabric. So first up is the yellow. I'm a little torn if I want to do this bright yellow or the dark yellow. So I have both of these, and I like them both. That one's very, very bright, but I also feel like it's very summery. This one's a little more muted, but I feel like it's a truer yellow than this other one. I think I'm going to do this one. So let me cut a piece of that. Okay, so now you're just going to lay it on here. Be sure all the edges are under and covered. And just tack it down. And this is kind of what I'm talking about as far as the embroidery library designs go. They don't have the step. If this was an embroidery library design, I would have already had to have the batting and the lemon fabric cut to shape and size, and then just put it directly onto the stabilizer and it would stitch it. But I do not like doing it that way. Embroidery library representatives, if you are watching this, please change the way you do your new designs because it sucks. Okay, so now get you guys back around here. Let me see if I can clip this camera down here because this is not in a good spot. Sorry, you may get a show of my room. I just don't know if it's gonna hold. No, it's not. Okay. I was trying to be cool and put it on my desk, but that didn't work. Okay. Now that you've probably been way too close to my face. Okay, so I'm gonna take this off. This is what I have, and I'm gonna trim the batting, which I probably should have trimmed the batting first, hindsight, but I'm gonna trim everything around, so I'll just be left with this lemon fabric. So let me turn this down. You guys can see what I'm trimming. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the yellow fabric. It's kind of hard to do 2 layers at once. I didn't even think about it, but I should have trimmed the batting after the last step and before the step, but hindsight's 2020, literally. If you hear my husband talking up there, he's playing Call of Duty with his work friends. That's usually how our nights go. He does Call of Duty and I do embroidery. Or lately I've been binge watching Law and Order SVU. So that's been a thing. I've gotten way too invested in that. Okay, so now I have my lemon cut out, and now I'm just going to go back and trim the batting. Which I'll probably am cutting this too short, but it's okay. I'm like the world's worst at trimming applique, and I don't know why. I have tried to learn how to do it, and my skills are still subpar. I'm trying to be sure I get down in this little groove really good of the stem and the leaf, because I want that satin stitch to look good. I know you probably can't see with my hand right here, but I promise I'm trying. I have very, very low hopes that this is going to hold because this is already starting to pull out. But I'm hoping once it, just the quilting stitch, it may be okay. Maybe. But again, this is me and I don't really care. Okay. I'm going to trim this little spot some more. Okay, that's pretty good. So this is already pulling out. So that's probably going to be crap. So I'll see if I can save it with some temporary adhesive. Try to stick it down and see if that holds it. Hopefully it does. Okay. So now, get this turned back over here. So the next step is going to be for the leaf fabric. I have two shades of green as well. That and the light. Kind of torn. I think I like the light better. There's a big old crease right in it, but it'll be okay. So now I'm just going to do the same thing. Hopefully this one cuts better since I already have the batting trimmed underneath. It'll be fine. Rogue string in there. Okay. And I'm still using white thread just because all this is going to be covered up anyway, so it's not a big deal. Get this down here. I'm trying to figure out what this next step is. I guess it's, I don't know what it is. Okay. Trying to save the scraps. All these pieces so far I've gotten out of the scrap bin. I try to prolong my fabric use as much as possible. Especially if you're doing a lot of appliques, scraps are great to have on hand because, especially for like those small appliques, I know a lot of the designs from Designs by Juju. She has a lot of word art designs, and a lot of them have little applique elements like hearts or flowers, stuff like that. And small pieces of fabric are excellent for those because you don't have to cut a whole huge piece if you just have a scrap. So I'm trying to cut this little piece down some more. Okay. So here's my lemon. Okay, and the next stitch, it shows in yellow. It's some kind of little thing at the top. I'm not sure. So I'm going to try to match this color as best I can, because I don't want to have, it's a little dark. I don't want it to be super obvious. It's too light. Too dark. Too dark. Oh, it's pretty close. No, it's a little bit dark. That one's pretty close. It's a little bit light. Try this one. It's a bit dark. I have so many colors that are so close. I think I like this one the best. It's a hair dark for what I want, but I think overall it'll be okay. So this is Madeira Rayon 1171. Which may in fact be called lemon or something like that. Can't remember off the top of my head. Okay. And like I say, I'm not entirely sure what this stitch is, but here we are. This is what I get for going rogue and not reading the directions. Oh, okay. I guess it's just a tack down for the where it does the stippling, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so now's the stippling stitch. I was going to skip this, but I feel like if I don't, it's going to get really wrinkly. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it. A rogue thread again. I don't know why my machine has not been cutting my thread tails very good lately. Sometimes it does fine, but then sometimes it's like they all want to stay long. I'm really hoping the Stippling Stitch goes over this and holds it down, because otherwise I think it's going to pull out. It still might pull out. I feel like I would like this better if it had like a crisscross design rather than like a stippling, but I'm very OCD anyway. I like straight lines. Okay, so now we go back to white to do the little accent mark on the lemon. I'll wipe that on. And this is just Madeira Rayon Super White. 1001, I think, is the number. Yes, 1001, because 1000 is black. Okay. So this is just a little, kind of to look like the light is hitting it. And I don't know if I mentioned that this design is from Creative Kiwi, but it is. And I believe it was free. Okay, I'm looking through the steps to be sure I do this right. Okay, so now the next step is going to be putting the yellow piece for the back on. And so it does a yellow and a green on the back. So I think I am going to add another layer of batting. So I'm not sure that I can trim it very well. But we're going to try because I feel like this is not enough batting. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put some temporary adhesive. Obviously, since I'm using water soluble, you don't want to go too heavy with the temporary adhesive. And then, I don't know if you can see, I've got this is the back of the hoop. This is the front where the lemon is. So flipped over, got my extra piece of batting. You don't have to use extra batting, but I kind of feel like it needs it. So I'm just going to throw it on there and hope it turns out how I want it to. Okay, so get all that smoothed down. And I'm still using white because, again, this is going to be covered up. So. I think this is going to make it a good thickness, having the two layers. That was some more temporary adhesive as well. Try to get it to stay down. Okay, we're trucking on along. Trying to see if I can't tack this down with some more adhesive. Oh, just sprayed that right on the thing. Hopefully it'll wash out and be alright. Oh well. Okay, so I'm going back to the back and I'm just going to do the same thing I did on the front and trim this off, which will probably not be the easiest thing because I'm trimming 2 layers at once. I'm going to try to trim them together this time. Normally I don't do that, but I think in this case it might actually work a little better. I'm just trying to be sure I leave enough room around the edge that it doesn't pull out, because I went a little close on the front, which I have a tendency to do, unfortunately. I've ruined many projects that way. So I'm just cutting all around so the front and the back will look the same, or at least almost the same after this. I'll have to do the back side of the leaf next. Okay, so let me trim my little piece at the top up here, which I'm probably gonna have to use the big gun scissors for to be able to get in there. Okay, so now I have the back and the front. So the next step, I'm going to just put another piece of batting and another piece of green fabric on the back. Hopefully I can utilize one of these pieces of scrap batting I have lying around, that way I don't have to cut another one. Okay, this should work pretty good. So just be sure it's covered. Now I'm going to take my other little piece of green fabric. Right here. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing. This is just going to tack this down, and then I'll trim it off the back. Now just trim this off, and then the next step, it looks like, is just going to be a zigzag stitch that goes around the entire design to kind of keep everything together before it does the satin stitch. Okay, we're almost there. My husband is like way too into Call of Duty out there. Okay, let me trim the end of this leaf. Use some big scissors to trim this. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's all right. Okay, so here's the back with my kind of crap trimming job, but that's okay. And then we're back to the front. So next up, I'm just going to do white as well because, like I say, it's just a zigzag stitch that goes all the way around, and it'll be covered up by the satin stitch at the end anyway. So I'm really trying to make sure all my little pieces are down. Hopefully this satin or this zigzag stitch catches it. She usually is pretty good about making her satin stitches wide. Let's see. Well, my thread just broke. Okay. Let's just start that over again. I'm trying to get it up closer so you guys can see. I know it's hard. Well, so far this is sucking royally. Let's see if I can fix the leaf before we carry on. This is what I get. It's whatever. This was just kind of a practice one. I'm not super mad about it, but still. I'm kind of mad about it. Trying to be sure I get this down. Okay. See if it catches this time, hopefully. Part of it is my foot is pulling it up too. Sorry, I know this is like not riveting at all, but I'm trying to salvage this. Hopefully the satin stitch catches it, but it probably won't. Well, it kind of caught it. Not great, but it kind of did. Not that it gets this right here too. Which actually, normally I do not condone spraying temporary adhesive as close to the machine, but here I am. I have to watch this thing just to get all the temporary adhesive out. Temporary adhesive seems to be holding relatively good though to keep it in place, so I'm not mad about it. It can do worse. not wanting to catch. It's just like barely got it. This whole part didn't catch though. You know, you live and learn. Now, we go to the yellow, which hopefully does okay. I'm hoping the satin stitch is a hair wider than the zigzag stitch. If it is, it should be pretty okay. Okay, let's see how this goes. So far, it looks like it's doing good, so we'll see. This part I'm not as worried about, it's just this right here. This little, like the end of it. Gotta figure out what color green I'm going to use too. Got this. Put some apart, but it's almost too neon looking. I'll probably do that. That's a good leaf color. It looks like the satin stitch is a hair wider, not much. But a little bit. Try to hold this down. And then if I can just stretch this fabric over a little bit. Pro tip, don't use your fingers. I've had too many close calls. And I have known people that have gotten their fingers sewed. And this puppy will not stop if you get a finger in it. It will just keep on sewing right through your finger. I'll say that, then I'll put my finger up there. As long as it's far away, I'm not worried about it, but don't reach right underneath. Try to work this down. It's itching just barely. I'm kind of jacking the stitches up a little bit, but I'd rather them be jacking and hold together than it be together and fall apart. I don't know what I'm saying. probably just go back around with some gray chick and put it around the edges, and hopefully that will hold it. If not, it's not a big deal. Like I said, this was just, for me, this was just kind of a practice one, so next time I know better. One of these days, my applique cutting school will improve. I think this color of yellow was good. I have so many DIY craft projects I want to work on, and I just don't even know where to start. If you're into DIY and crafting, I definitely recommend either the YouTube channel or the Facebook page, Olivia's Romantic Home. She has so many good Dollar Tree DIY ideas. I am just amazed at how she comes up with it. Definitely recommend her videos. She comes up with stuff that I never would have thought of. It seems to be doing pretty good. Like I said, the only part I'm really worried about is this. Oh, well, you can't see my hand, but down here at the bottom. Sorry, I try to keep it just so the camera to the best angle. Okay, so this is a nice little decorative stitch as well. Little X's. Which does kind of give it a nice polished look. We're almost done. Just gotta get through this one. The yellow was a little bit darker than what I wanted, but I feel like it kind of offsets the light color of the fabric nicely. I feel like if it blended in too much, it would look weird. Okay. Put my yellow back up. Whoops. Don't lose it. Dropping it on the ground. Okay. This one back. Now, this is Madeira Rayon 1049, which I believe is kiwi green. I can't remember. I've used Madeira ever since I got started, so I have about all of their numbers and names memorized. Okay, so now this is just going to be the finishing stitch for the leaf. Step number 12. And it does have this little like crease in the leaf as well to kind of give it a 3D look. I feel like I did a much better job on the leaf as far as not cutting too close, but I'm still kind of worried about this top left part. Hopefully it's okay. No, it's not even 10 o'clock yet on a Friday night, and here I am, like a whole woman. Okay, really try to stretch that over as best I can. It's catching okay. It's not perfect, but could be worse. The rest of it I'm not too worried about. I think I got the stem pretty good. It looks like the zigzag stitch caught it fine. I don't see any places that are full. Hopefully we should be good. Oh, I think it turned out pretty good. I don't love the stippling. Like I said, I wish it was just like a diamond pattern or straight lines or something. But it's okay. I'm not mad about it. Halfway and then goes back. I don't know. If you like the stuff I'm making and you're interested in possibly buying it or just seeing what I have to offer, feel free to go check out my Etsy shop. You can go to Etsy and just search Erin's, ERIN''S, Erin's Embroidery 912. The number is 912. And it should bring up my shop. And you can see everything I have there. I think I have about 77 items listed right now. And I am going to be having some more coming soon. So I have some more baby stuff I want to make, some more summer things. I'm going to have some earrings coming soon. So there's a few more things in the works. it gets resonant ends and sides. Oh no. Come on, it's your book. Okay. Well, there's that. Let me zoom you guys out. Okay. Sorry, I've got to invest in a better camera setup because this sucks. Okay, so here's what we have now. My little lemon. This is the back. As I said earlier, it's not perfect, but it's okay. So you can just, I was gonna say you might just be able to pop it out, but you would just trim this water soluble around, and then you could just take a Q-tip. I mean, you could throw it in the wash. It's not really gonna hurt it, but just take a Q-tip with some water and go around. And I'm not one to waste stabilizer, especially water soluble stabilizer. So I'm gonna see if I can't squeak some earrings on here too. So I'm gonna try to do some of these freestanding lace earrings. I'm not a huge earring wearer. Just whoops. Oh, cancel. I thought I clicked something on my phone. I'm not a huge earring wearer. I have pretty sensitive ears. I have a tendency to break out unless I wear the high-end stuff, which is very bougie, but it's true. Okay, some of these require vinyl, which I think those would have to be on tearaway and not wash away. So let me look back and see. So the butterfly, the flower, and the leaf all have to be on vinyl, but the bee and the lace ones do not. Okay. I'm just going to try the bee, and we'll see where that gets me. Okay, so I think for the bee, I kind of want to use an orangey yellow, because I think I want to go a little bit darker than what I used on the lemon. I'm worried that would be too dark. Which really these would require a yellow bobbin anyway, but that's okay. I guess I could just do the lace ones, they'd be white. Let's do that. Okay, let me put this back. Okay. Let me add on these lace ones. Hopefully they're not too tall. I'm gonna try this. I don't know if it'll work or not, but we're gonna try. Okay. So these are just stitching directly onto the water soluble stabilizer. and then you just wash it out at the end. Let me cut this off so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right, let me get you over here a little closer. I'm hoping there's not too much tension, that it will hold pretty well, but we'll see. This only takes 6 minutes for one earring, so that's pretty fast. A lot of time, freestanding lace stuff takes a really, really long time, especially with lots of detail. I've had a few FSL projects that I've worked on for days because it took so long. These are looking pretty good so far. I bought a ton of the little earring hook piece pack because I had bought another earring design, but I ended up not being a huge fan of it. Didn't work very well. So hopefully this one works better. I'm always so fascinated by freestanding lace and the fact that the stitches just held together by itself. It's so amazing to me. I always wonder who invented these things. It's almost like an Easter egg. Now I'm wondering if it was supposed to be an Easter egg or if I'm just making that up. But I do like these because they're a solid color and you can do them in any color, really. You have to just wind a bobbin thread to match on the back, but so this is like a really big satin stitch around the edge. That's interesting. Yeah, that's my problem, is it always pulls down. I don't know. I never have good luck with freestanding lace. I always end up dropping a stitch somewhere. It gets off or something. I think part of this is because my stabilizer is already stretched so tight. A little weak. oddly satisfying. These may have been the ones, actually. Let me pull this up because I think maybe they're supposed to be fringed on the edge. I cannot remember. Okay. So it is supposed to be fringe on the edge. So I was like, I feel like it's supposed to be fringe. Okay. So yeah, after you get done stitching this, you just take a seam ripper and you go through all those loose stitches on the edge, and then it turns it into fringe. Pretty cool. I think I'm going to throw in another piece of stabilizer on the second one, just because this first one did not turn out so hot. Okay. That one didn't do perfectly. I think mostly just because my stabilizer was really thin. But I'm going to put a second piece of stabilizer on this one. Make it a little bit thicker. Hopefully this one does better. But these are just my practice ones, so it's not a big deal. I used to wear earrings all the time. You never, ever caught me without a pair of earrings. I had all types, flowers, dangling limbs, all kinds of stuff. For some reason, in my old age, my ears have gotten super sensitive, and I do not hardly wear them anymore. Probably the fact that I wore all the crap flared earrings for years and years when I was young. I will try to see when this is done if I can carry my phone into the bathroom with me, and I can show you guys how I rinse it out and get the water soluble stabilizer out. But I don't know how far it will let me take my phone away from the computer before it loses the signal. According to the machine, we don't have too much left, so getting close to the end. I just knew since I had these little small earrings that I wanted to make, and I had a little bit of room left on the stabilizer, I might as well just go ahead and squeeze them on here, but I've been trying to use a whole new piece. Which I might revert back to my 5x7 machine to make these, just so I can use smaller pieces of stabilizer, but this especially since there's no jump stitches. Because my 5x7 machine does not cut jump stitches, which is a major pain in the butt. Trying to see if this one looks like it's stitched any better. Yeah, it is. I don't know if you can see my other one. This one kind of pulls right here. You can see how that stitching is not very even. This one looks like it is doing better since I added the extra piece of stabilizer. Yeah, this one looks a lot better. I'll probably just end up scrapping the first one and just making a new one to pair with this second one that I did. At some point. I don't know if I could squeeze them all on here or not. I don't think I can. If I can, I might just go in. I can go ahead and have it done. Sorry, I know this is not super riveting, guys, but it's my life. I'm so excited to try this in the frames. Like, you don't even know. There's something so strangely and obvious satisfying about just putting rippers through something and ripping it. This one definitely stitched way better because you can see all these edges down here are very, very even, whereas the other one wasn't. But these will be a nice little gift to give to somebody or, you know, something of the sort. Almost done. And then you have to like one more. If I can fit it on here, I don't know if I can or not, but I'm gonna try. Okay, so that one did a heck of a lot better than the last one. So let me see if I can go back and add. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add in another piece of stabilizer. Get all these little fuzzies off the back. Okay. Sorry guys, this is the last one. You're probably getting sick of watching earrings. But like I said, I just want to get this done and taken care of. I'm stuck with one road earring. No, for some reason it does not feel like a Friday night to me. I don't know why. But all day yesterday I thought it was Wednesday. And like, I legit got mad at my husband when he told me it was Thursday. Because I was like, no, it's not, it's Wednesday. I truly in my heart believe it was Wednesday yesterday. And was shocked to find out that it was not. Alright, we're trucking on along. I wish there was some way I could like add some beads or something to this, some kind of embellishment to make it a little bit more fancy. But I don't know, I guess I could always sew something on by hand, but that's going to be kind of a pain. Well, then it sounds like it's getting to the end. Usually when it gets loud, that means it's getting close to the end. Which of course it'll probably get like right to the last 10 stitches and run out how my life goes. We're almost there, y'all. Now finish the satin stitch around and then that is going to be it. You can see the design a little bit better this way. Kind of how it looks, and then those edges where the long stitches are and where it will turn fringe. Almost there, y'all. We're almost there. I don't even know where all the little earring things are. I put them in a drawer up there. Okay, so let me roll y'all back up here. Sorry, this camera thing is just on its last leg. Okay. So I have everything stitched in here, so take this out. And let me get scissors. Let me cut it apart. I'm not worried about cutting super close to the edge because, like I say, this is water soluble and it will come out. So don't feel like you have to get right to the edge. I'm probably going to try to get it a little closer with the lemon. Just because I don't want to have to soak the whole pot holder. So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing or not. I'm trying to trim this. Just be sure if you're going close to the edge that you do not trim that decorative satin stitch because everything's going to come undone. If you're unsure, just stop and cut somewhere else. Like I say, it does not have to be perfect, so I'm just trying to get it as best I can so I don't have to try to wash as much out. Almost done with the lemon, then I'll show you guys the earrings. Okay, so here's my lemon, and I don't know if you can see it, but right around the edge, you can see where that water soluble is. So I'm just going to take a Q-tip with some water and go back over it. Oh, hi, Angela. I'm good. Just been showing some new projects I've been working on. This is a little trivet I just made, lemon trivet. Kind of had some trials and tribulations to get through it, but we made it. I'm just going to trim off all these little threads on the back. And like I say, with the, what's it called? The wrap and zap or whatever that batting is called. It is good to withstand heat, but you obviously don't want to leave it under heat for an extended amount of time. I mean, it probably wouldn't hurt it, but just to be safe. Okay, so here's my little lemon. Overall, I think it turned out pretty good. I wish you could see the white part a little better. I feel like it kind of blends in, even though it is white. It's kind of hard to tell. In person, you can see it a little better, but on the camera, it doesn't show it nearly as good. Not super crazy about the stippling. It's okay. This design came from Creative Kiwi. Okay, so now onto these godforsaken earrings. Here we are. Okay, so let me find my good ones and my bad one. So Angela, since you just joined us, I was making these in the hoop earrings. They're stitched on water soluble stabilizer, but the first one I did came out kind of sad. So that's going to be my practice one to cut out anyway. So I'm not going to do anything with it, but I'm just going to kind of see how it looks. Okay. So let me cut out these other ones. And since these will have to soak, I'm not worried about cutting really closely because I really don't want to trim the or cut the stitching because freestanding lace will legitimately unravel. Angela, I saw your comment. Been there, done that. I've been there and done it a few times. I was just thinking to myself the other day about the times when I stitched a shirt to my hoop and you had to end up cutting it off. Those are painful times. I remember one time I did that. I think it was with one of my daughter's shirts. It was when I first started embroidering and I sewed the whole thing right onto the hoop. I was so mad. Okay, so here's my little earrings cut out. And I know there's a front side and a back side to this. This is the front. Okay, so the back side you can see, I don't know if you can see it on here. No, you can't. Well, you can kind of see where those threads are hanging down. That's where it tied off. That's the back. You can kind of tell just to look at the stitching. It's not quite as smooth and shiny on the back just because it's that bobbin thread. You have to look kind of closely, but you can tell a difference. Okay, I'm going to try to take y'all into the bathroom so I can show you how I clean all the stuff off. Hopefully my phone does not lose signal, but we will try. We're going on a field trip, guys. Because my phone is not plugged into my camera. I'm watching the screen to be sure I don't lose it. Bathroom is actually relatively clean. Guys looked around. I'm clicking on stuff. Okay. I'm gonna go look at my computer real quick and be sure you're still up. Okay. Yes, you are. Okay, so for the linen, I'm just going to take a little Q-tip and just go right around the edges, and you'll see it just start to dissolve. And obviously it's water, so don't worry about getting it wet because it will dry. That's not a big deal. And if you wanted to run this whole pot holder through the wash or let it soak or whatever, you can. I just didn't want to have to go through that. I'm trying not to unput my whole phone and lose it. Okay. I don't really scrub it too much. I just kind of glob some water on there and it will just disintegrate on its own. And obviously it'll wear down after time too, after going through the wash and water spilled on it and whatnot. Q-tip is disintegrating. Okay. That's pretty good. That's not perfect, but it's okay. So the thread is wet, but it's okay. Now for the earrings, I'm going to turn this water to hotter. Under. you buy? And that, what do you call it? The water soluble stabilizer bubbles when it comes out. So you'll know that it's still washing out if you're getting a lot of bubbles. I mean, obviously you're going to have some bubbles, whether they're stabilizer or not, but it will look more like soapy bubbles. Just kind of rub it around. Try to get all of the little, and you'll kind of feel the stickiness like coming out of it. Technically, it's supposed to let it soak like overnight to be sure it all comes out, but since it's so small, I'm not super worried about it. I can always go back with a Q-tip later on and get it better if I need to. Actually, I might just see if I can. Little tiny pieces. Come out. I think I got it pretty good. Okay. So you can either just leave these and let them dry. I'm gonna go try to do this fringe, and I will probably press them when I'm done. Okay, let me put you guys back around. Go back in here. Okay. Oh, I left my lemon in the bathroom. Well, I'll get it in a second. I'm just really excited about making this fringe. That's such a weird thing to be excited about, but I just think it's so cool. Here's my, there we go. Okay. Okay, so now I have my little earrings. I'm going to trim off these extra threads on the back. Any other rogue hairs or threads? Okay, now according to the directions, this is just easy peasy because of course everything is. So you can see the edges are just a really loose stitch. So you're supposed to just be able to take a seam ripper and just go right through it and voila, fringe. Probably have to go back and like straighten this up some. Yeah, because it's cutting all kinds of crooked. This is so hard to see and I'm so blind. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, well, initially it looks like crap. So we're going to try to trim that up. Okay, I missed a few still. It's hard to tell. I'm going to be sure this other stitch line doesn't cut out too, though. think for the second one, I'm just going to do it with scissors because I feel like with the stitch puller, it pulls too much. And it's kind of unthreading everything else. And these earrings, I believe, came from Embroidery Library. If it wasn't Embroidery Library, it was Urban Threads. But I'm like 95% sure it was Embroidery Library. Okay, so this is not terrible. I'm going to try this one with just scissors rather than the seam ripper because I feel like I'm going to be able to get a little bit more even with scissors. Okay. So I'm just cutting really close to the outside edge, just enough to cut those little loops in half. Got them all. Now I've got little fringe pieces stuck all over me. Okay, I think I did all right. There's a few little rogue pieces I missed. Now I'm getting all these little pieces coming everywhere. Okay, so, I mean, it's kind of a different look. I might go back and trim the first one a little bit. So this is the one I did with the seam ripper. And this is the one I did with scissors. Sorry, I'm reversed. So I do kind of like the seam ripper more. Of course, I think it's a little bit wet too, is part of why it's not really frizzing out as much. So I'll probably wait until it dries and then go back and kind of touch it up. But we'll see. But overall, I think they came out okay. Okay, they're still a little sticky. I don't think I got quite all of the stabilizer out, so I'll have to wash them out a little more. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to show you guys or talk about tonight. I know it's been so long since I've been on. I don't know. I feel like there was some other new design I was going to tell you guys about. Now I don't know what it was. Oh. Either way. I guess that's going to be about it, guys. I'm going to go fiddle around with this truck design and see if I can't figure out how to cut the pieces out with my scan and cut. So that'll be fun. But yeah, hopefully it won't be this long before I get on again. I've just been kind of taking a little mental break because I haven't had a ton of orders. So I haven't had to be in here working constantly. So that's why I haven't been on as much, just because I haven't been working as much. But anyway, I guess that's about it. Happy Friday. I hope everybody has a good weekend. Stay safe. Don't get the Rona, you know. Okay, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.